What's up guys, K-Plays here. Well, we've been asking and they finally delivered. We went from having barely any hunting horn gameplay from the Gamescom Wilds demo to getting it shown not once but twice today. The guys over at RX Gaming graced us with a few minutes of footage to go over, and Tokuda showed us in the dev stream that the hunting horn might just be too powerful this time for the demo to handle because it kept crashing due to the musical glory that is this weapon. That's roughly 9 minutes of solid hunting horn footage to go through between the both of them. We just did a deep dive yesterday, but you of course know that I'm not going to pass up on doing another, especially since I'm realizing that when I said that there's probably a lot more to this new version, I was not kidding. I pored over that footage for ages, and even I missed a couple things that you eagle-eyed hunting horn users out there snagged. It's kinda crazy to be learning new things by watching my own darn video trying to show you guys some new things. They were not lying when they said they really added a lot to hunting horn this time. When the full game comes out, I'll definitely have a guide plan to put out so everyone can digest all these new tools, but at this point, it's looking like I'll be writing a whole college thesis paper. I swear, if I go through today's new gameplay and it turns out that there's even more that I didn't catch after this, you know what? I'll actually be really happy with that, because that'll mean that Capcom put so much love into the Wild's horn that you can't possibly catch it all in just one go. Or 10. Or 12. But without further ado, let's get into it again. First, we're actually going to make one last stop back in the German footage to catch a very neat detail. I want to shout out Vanguard Neo in the comments for catching this one, because if it didn't happen by accident here, we probably would have taken ages to find this out. The Super Pound got note shortcut inputs added to it. The player only did a Super Pound into a crush here before going into the recital, so there should have been no way that he'd have 3 yellow notes to play high frequency with. But you slow it down and you can see that he definitely snags 2 notes for the price of 1 on the Super Pound. The move does do 2 swings, so it makes sense, but we've never been able to do that before, so it's a pretty big plus when it comes to note stocking. That's a shortcut for 2 notes on 1 attack that we can now start with note 3 instead of only the note 2 with the flourish. If we keep similar note combos to what we've had in the past, we'll be able to pull off some funky new combo variations to recitals. For example, Super Pound Stab Recital is a new quick but heavy combo that we could use now with any 3-note song that starts with your 3rd note. Along with the Earthshaker Jam session, that brings the total up to 3 new note shortcuts. And no, I haven't lost count, we've got 3. If you look at the button prompts during the Echo Bubble Dance, the same stock notes option that shows up during Earthshaker also appears here. Several of you pointed out to me that in the button guides for the demo you can store up to 3 notes with this move, and I also want to give a big thanks here too. Hunting horn players are nothing if not helpful, am I right? But speaking of helpful, these extra techniques will be amazing when it comes to managing songs. Like, for one, remember when I said that the offset melody should be easy to stock in around 3 moves? Yeah, try just 1 or 2 if you use the Earthshaker or an Echo Dance and 1 note and 1 attack respectively. I am so ready to see some of the high-level hunting horn gameplay when this game comes out, because there's going to be so much room for different techniques and playstyle expression to just go nuts. Now, let's stick on the topic of Echo Bubbles for a second, because both of today's streams shed a little bit more light on their mechanics. In the RX video, it's pointed out that there's a UI element showing that we're confirmed to have 3 bubbles available at any given time. See, once you place one of these markers flashes. You can then watch over the course of their hunting horn segment, it slowly refills again, so I'm assuming that this will be what helps you keep track of your bubble durations and when you'll be able to place another. What they don't point out though is that once Paradise places all 3, the tuning fork icon next to them also starts flashing. This could be nothing, but I don't know what it means just yet. Could possibly be an indicator for some unknown bonus you get with all 3 bubbles active. I thought it might give you their special effect whether or not you're in the range of a bubble, but unfortunately the speed and evasion boost still disappears after a few seconds outside of their area of effect. But, while I had my eyes on these buffing icons, I managed to catch something else. When you look at your hunter stats, there will actually now be timers that show up when you have 20 seconds left on your songs, which will be an awesome quality of life feature for anyone that might have had issues knowing when they need to reapply their buffs before. It's these little things, man. They really showed us some love this time. Have they been saving it up all these years? Or maybe this is an apology tour or something for all the Rise redesign backlash maybe? Who knows? I'm gonna stop questioning it before they change their minds. Before we dive into the dev stream though, there's one more neat detail that I want to address in the RX video. There seems to be some sort of stacking mechanic on the encores. I'd expect there to just be 1 sound burst on the final hit of this recital combo, but instead there were 3 more that matched the damage numbers dealt by the 3 songs played beforehand. There wasn't even an Echo Wave song played there either, just attack up and 2 self-improvements. The damage would have probably racked up even higher there. We used to be able to get 1 giant burst on that song, so we could possibly see that aspect back in Wilds. And again, in this game we see a lot of potential for sound wave damage to snowball into something crazy. Later on in their hunting horn segment, we see that the bubbles will let off sound waves whenever you do a normal or recital attack, even if you're not near them. This is pretty similar to what we got in Monster Hunter Online. And before you even think about it, Little Johnny Corner Horn, no, that's not an invitation to play Rage Hunting Horn from the other side of the area. If anything, what I'm seeing here is more incentive than ever to stick to monsters like glue, because if you manage to get a few bubbles going under them and lay down the violence to the tune of 3 echo waves and an encore, they're definitely gonna feel it. Now let's move on to this dev stream. The things I caught here are less along the lines of big realizations and more back to little intricacies, so we're gonna rapid fire these off. You ready for the lightning round? Let's go. On top of being able to stack up to 5 notes with the Earthshaker, you can chain into a recital right afterwards. So like I said in the last video, this is Flourish on steroids. Heaviest attack we've seen in the moveset so far, also gives you 5 notes worth of songs for free, also lets you play them immediately. And icing on the cake, cherry on the sundae, I've heard from secondhand sources that properly timing the note inputs gives you damage boost on the attack. Who says Hunting Horn can't have nice things? You'll notice a few times in this video that you're now able to start a directional recital from a neutral position rather than having to do an attack first. So I was probably right in saying that Capcom really wants to see us use these for positioning. On the topic of movement and positioning, both shuffling during recitals and roll cancelling before a song goes off like in World are confirmed still possible. Not that the first is particularly needed since songs activate fast and with extra sound waves now, but you may as well get those both in. At the same time though, I guess these will still be there for escaping badly timed recital windows. The Echo Dance is also able to be roll cancelled towards the end. Don't know if you can fully cut it off early, but if you could, it'd probably be pretty nice. The animation commitment isn't super crazy compared to anything Hunting Horn has ever had, but if you can't cancel it, you'll definitely want to mind your openings before you start busting out your dance moves. Interestingly, we've only seen one encore so far, this new fast double swing. I'm hoping this is just because nobody's pushing directional inputs, because losing Hunting Horn's greatest hits like the aggressive forward and back encores, that'd probably be my only sore spot I find with WoW's Hunting Horn so far. It'd be a small list of exactly one thing out of the dozens and dozens of positives we've seen, but still. Lastly, we can see here that the offset melody does indeed have its own spot in the queue, so it won't take up any of the 3 spaces you'll have for other songs, and you won't be having to worry about pushing it out of the queue by doing additional attacks. We still don't get to see it used unfortunately, because again, Hunting Horn was just too strong, and it kept breaking the poor stream, so Tokuda had no choice but to swap to a lesser weapon. All things said, new Hunting Horn is extra as hell in all the best ways possible. I learned even more, but again, I have even more questions. I think at this point, I'd love nothing more than to either just hibernate until 2025, or get a download date announced for the public demo like yesterday, cause my brain is racing with all the new info and possibilities. But like last time, I'll link the full Hunting Horn goodness down below with timestamps to get right to the action. We ate a little better today than the first chunk of Gamescom, but on the off chance we get even more footage, feel free to let me know and I'll see if we need to do a round 3 on the demo analysis. I sure wouldn't mind it at all. If any of you haven't already, go watch that first video with the main chunk of what we learned so far, since this is focused more on the additional little details on top of those things. Until the next one, and hopefully there is, this has been another K-Plays and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.